Let me go to the Dad's Bet Baseball, doing the thingy, Monday Night Doubleheader. So I wanted to wear a tux for this. It's our 50th show.
Oh, yeah.
It's our 50th show.
I have my suit jacket over here if you want me to go through it on.
I thought about it, but I had, because I have a suit jacket, but I was like, if I had thought further in advance, I would have had like a t-shirt tux. We did 50 episodes of this. Good job, CJ. Good job to us. I can't believe it. Good job to Spencer for sitting through.
Good job for Spencer for putting up with us. Yeah, for real.
More than 50 hours worth of our garbage. And so, with that said, for the 50th time, you are listening to Dad's Bet Baseball and football, but we're going to do a little bit of both today. I am Adam Rosenberg. With me, as always, is my co-host, Slip and Jimmy, CJ Buskey. CJ is live in Orlando because he's a big Disney fan, I assume?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm here because there is no place that is more magical to watch ALCS Game 7 and a Monday night doubleheader than Orlando, Florida people. So, I'm here for something totally unrelated, but I was actually just coming back from a weekend in New Orleans. I got to say, shout out to New Orleans.
Happy birthday. Also, happy birthday.
Thank you. I wouldn't want to spend my birthday here with anybody else than my co-host here for our 50th episode. But shout out to New Orleans. Great city, great time. You don't have to just go to Bourbon Street. We were there during apparently.
In fact, don't go to Bourbon Street.
Yeah, we did. We had. I feel like it's like there's like a rite of passage. Like you do have to get a grenade in a hurricane at like.
Have you never been? Was this your first time?
No, that was my first time going.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So we did that a little bit Saturday, but then Sunday we just ate all around the city and it was great. So
where'd you get oysters?
We got oysters from this place called Mosquito Supper Club. So it's like a place where you go and you like sit down at like a communal dinner with a bunch of other strangers, and they just You just eat whatever they feed you. So
that's awesome. Which is all
it was great.
Non-vegetables and fried food because it's
yes, a lot of okra, a lot of oysters,
a lot of okra.
A lot of okra. Yeah. I said okra
awesome.
like a couple of times, and I got a few looks. So
it's really good with a Bloody Mary. Yeah, Royal Oyster House is like my favorite one. It's kind of like a pull-up bar. It's over there.
That for next
Royal.
Time.
And Johnny's Po' Boys is good. Mother's is really good. I don't know. Did you go to Maple Leaf Bar? That's a good bar.
Didn't go to Maple Leaf Bar. We did end up on Frenchman Street though the one night, and we went to Spotted Cat, which
that's
also
awesome.
That's
great.
That was great. That was like
that's easy.
Like
that's an easy place to be there for like 3 hours. Yeah, you could just jam out.
So you like pay like $10 for the cover, and then just sit back, and they will just jam and go on and on and on. It's crazy. I think we're talented doing this podcast. We are like 1/100th as talented as some of those musicians.
No, that's awesome.
It's cool.
But dude, happy birthday! As one of my closer friends, I do care about you and your birthday, and we'll celebrate together in December. I'm actually in New York on Thursday. We'll do that.
Okay.
But but we also this is a big day. It's a 50th episode. It's your birthday. We're gonna have Shawn on to not talk about the Ravens, but to talk about some other stuff. And as we see,
we're done with the Ravens soliloquies. Yeah,
that's fine. But we are looking right now. The Ravens have become our Detroit Tigers of the of football. We are also sweating what is could possibly be ideally our biggest win of the MLB season. The first future that we put in the second future we put in. The first one was Christopher Sanchez to be Cy Young at 100-1. The second one was this Jays to win the pennant at 40-1.
Yeah,
which we're now sitting and sweating. I can't get much down on MGM. I certainly will not be able to get anything down on MGM if this hits, and that is where we're going. And so I want to start off, though. I want to thank our sponsors, Hall of Fame Bets. There's a QR code. A lot of you have asked, why would I use Hall of Fame Bets? You can use code DADS. Why would I use Hall of Fame Bets and you guys? And I'm actually going to just kind of show you one of the features on Hall of Fame Bets that has allowed us to cook. I will show you an NFL bet, but I've been really cooking with hockey. We're going to start to have our shows as baseball ends. We'll have a little bit more of like a hockey football hybrid, a hockey baseball Hockey,
we
baseball,
still want to keep. We gotta get the
we'll
people
keep
what
it
they want. On
separate.
football
Yeah,
stuff.
we'll keep it separate. The contact sport and the non-contact sport go together. But let me do this, and I will show you guys. So they have. So one of the reasons why people ask, like, why do we actually partner with them? And is this up? Can you see it? Is it good?
Yeah, it's right
Okay,
there. It's
cool.
right there.
All right, cool. So everyone says, like, well, why do we partner with them? So everyone knows that we also hawk our website, Handigraphs, and Handigraphs is a lot of raw, deep data. And one of the things that what they call on Hall of Fame Bets, the HOF data, which is their back end matchup data, and it's not a weird algorithm or anything. It's just percentiles and stuff that actually we have that they've sort of put into a dashboard form. We really trust it because it corresponds with what our raw data says. So when I go to trends and I use their matchup tool, which will grade something as I always say to them, I don't know why there's anything lower than B. I don't know why I would target an F matchup, but I guess
if you're targeting for an under, if you're targeting unders,
yeah, but then it would be an A matchup for the under.
Is it? I thought it was the reverse where you could just use like an F matchup.
Maybe I don't know. That said, it's awesome and I trust it, and I've been using it a lot more lately.
Use the matchups,
for football things. So I'm going to show you guys, like, for example, for tonight. One of the things that I did, I can show you where tonight I did, and I'll show you one that already had hit, but it was, I always go to B and over and B minus. And I play around with my odds, which is really great because you can do things with alts. And let's see. And so actually, see, now they have it updated to the teams that are already playing. So we can do quarter one stuff. This is great. So I have a lot of respect for the Houston Texans rush defense. I have a lot of respect for the defense, especially off the bye, even though like I'm on Seattle, but I started cooling as things got closer because I said, oh, they're off a bye.
I'm on Seattle for what it's worth.
I know I'm on Seattle too.
I'm
on
-3.
It is what it is. But I also don't understand the enamorment with Zach Charbonnet. And this is a Q1 under for him. That one he has not hit all season. And but why I picked it is because you can kind of go through trends. You can do this. I do this a lot with some different bets when I'm trying to do some discovery. And Q1 bets are kind of all the rage. If FanDuel had not been down all day, I would probably have been able to bet this Seattle-based company that kind of was an outage for everybody. But I just want to show you, and what I try to do is I try to find when there's a head-to-head that matches or a +3 or +5, where it's really cool for me. I know I'm going to switch sports completely. So anyway, I faded Zach Charbonnet altogether. I took his one of the ones I found.
I love that you're calling him Charbonnet, by the way.
Charbonnet.
Glass of Chardonnay.
Charbonnet.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Charbonnet. I took his under 50 rushing receiving yards, just so everybody knows, but which has an A- matchup, so I trust it. But for hockey, I want to show everybody how I've been cooking on this. I go to NHL. I go to trends. I go to NHL. I do you can see my stuff was already in there. I go to playing today, get a stat type, and I've been big on shots on goal, matchups. I get pretty aggressive and I go to B or higher. Odds I try to do around 150 and like 125. And then I look for a hit range that is just around like a little bit below 50%
nice.
or like 40%. That's great. And so what I do is I try to do this. I try to find stuff like this. So this is a really good example. So I try to find something that has a last 5 that's doing well, that's in like a yellow to green zone, and then a head-to-head. In hockey, that's really important because sometimes there are teams that have really good defensive schemes that just completely make it so that a player cannot do what they need to do. So this is an A matchup that Calgary has against Winnipeg, and it's -110, which is a great price. I took it earlier at, I think, at plus money, plus 104. So it's moving in our direction. If you care about CLV, which we have proven that prop CLV doesn't mean jack, but you can go in then, and then you can kind of mess around from there and see, oh, well, you know what? I want to see how he is at home, and I want to see how he is against teams with really good records, things like that. So I look at how he is against teams that are as good as Winnipeg. They have a lot of the how he's been lately, his shots versus his shots on goal. Like, this is his attempts. I love that. So this is a real quick overview, but I just want to put a stamp on trends and using the matchups within trends and filtering down that way as a really good way to use this. That is not giving you a recommendation. It's just telling you based on a data matchup. We did some of the work for you and you can find something cool. Like I have Mark Scheifele over 2.5 shots. It's at plus money. It was like plus 150 earlier. This is like another one. It's saying, he's probably going to go way over this, and it's great. And that's kind of been my thing for hockey. I've been doing it on teams too, on team props as well, where it's a side total. It's been very, very good. The matchup.
Are you just using because I use this a lot for NFL, and I've actually just transitioned into using like last 5 and last 10 versus like the first 4 or 5 weeks. You can use the 24 to 26, so it's all games throughout 2024 and any of the games that would be played.
I use that a lot on my breakout, on my individual player breakout. I do that.
Do you just use last 5 in hockey right now, mostly because of the limited amount of games? Okay. Yep. Would you switch to last 10 or do you want to keep it like last 5?
I would do last 10's my sweet spot when hockey's rolling.
Okay. Yeah.
Because it's a good.
I'm the same. And I do the same for NBA. If I'm betting NBA, I want to use last 10.
It gives you lineup consistency too. But when I get into a player, I will do so if I'm on I'll go to this NFL. I do this all the time. NFL is a really good example. So I love looking at 24 to 26 and then filtering to, how our opponents, how's he been against opponents here, at home. Well, his last 3 in opponents that are bottom ranked offensive opponents in the last 3 seasons, he's killed it, which this makes sense because it would have corresponded with his extended usage. Because they started ramping him up and ramping down guys like Tyler Lockett, who just got released. So it's just another reason why I like this platform. It's another reason why it works really well with our platform, which at this point we could just tell everybody, I guess you could technically just use HG. HG playoffs will get you using it for free for the next 10 days.
For the World Series.
The World Series. And it's been cooking. Here's a hint on baseball. Use BABIP in the playoffs. BABIP matters way more than barrel rate. Barrel rate matters in regular season. BABIP matters in the playoffs because BABIP means that you are basically making contact or about to make contact. So there is our Hall of Fame bets segment. HOFapp.com. Use code DADS, 25% off the first month. And with that, let's talk about some football. So how are these Blue Jays doing?
It's time. Well, Spencer informed me, apologies for listeners. Apparently he would have gotten a little bit of the Joe Davis special on the background there, but it's 1-1 in the ALCS currently. So
that was not my TV. I have mine muted. All right. So now I want to dive into this. I see my guy, Mark Drumheller, in here, and he's not going to like my pick for this segment. I'm already embarrassed, but all right. Which divisional dog of these 4? And I'm going to let me pull up the odds. Divisional.
Yep. So
odds.
Do you want me to name them? Cause I have it up right here.
Oh, you already have them up? Perfect.
I have the green book up.
Okay. Right, that's fine. The blue book was down. They don't get to use us.
All right. You got the green book.
Okay. I have it up too. All right. So of these, which one are you most interested in that you want to buy today? Is it the Pats? What's the Pats number?
So Pats are plus 125. The Jaguars, which I think was on your list, right?
Yep.
Plus 425.
Ooh, okay. Ravens.
Okay. Ravens are plus 140.
Okay. And then Cowboys.
Cowboys are plus 600.
Okay. Which of these are you interested in buying and why?
You know what? I think let me start out by saying the ones that I'm definitely not, which is
that's okay.
I personally have no interest in buying the Jags. And this is not like coming off of I'm not huffing too much off of our last episode.
Sure.
I'm just done. I'm
Public
done
8 this weekend. Public 8 this favorites did very, very well.
I know.
That weekend was coming.
I know. But and you know what? Dam's gonna break again. It happened in week 3 or week 4. So no, I'm out right now, at least on this Jags team. Not saying they won't make the playoffs, but rolling out the AFC South. So for me, I think the best price on the board, and it's not just because it's the longest. I think the best price is the Cowboys at 6-1.
Okay.
And I know you're an Eagles fan, so I'm being careful trying to pick a division.
No, go. There's a reason I
NFC
put it on
East.
there. There's a reason I put it on there.
I can't ignore the efficiency and how well Dallas's offense continues to play. I think that the George Pickens integration into the offense has been more seamless than I ever could have predicted. They got past one of their hardest stretches without CD. The problem is they did lose to the Eagles already, and that's part of the reason I don't like it. But I also think that they're like that price. The Commanders should not be plus 425. I will say that, and maybe it's just because you and I are like down on them. But if you're picking somebody who I think would be the second most likely to win, I would certainly have the Cowboys ahead of the Commanders. So I think 6-1 probably for me would be, if I'm playing a price, would be that. I think the Ravens are plus 140, which I don't like. I think that needs to be a little bit longer, even though I know people are still out on the Steelers. And the Pats, I mean, the Pats have like an incredibly easy schedule. But if I'm betting a future on the Pats, I'm not betting a plus 125 to win the division.
Okay. This is going to be a very short segment because I completely agree. And this is why I was worried about Mark
right. Happy birthday to me.
Well, look, a week and a half ago, I talked about it with Shawn for sure, Shawn Green, and they talked about it with a couple other people. Basically, they talked about it with a lot of Eagles fans that spit in my face when I said it. I loved Brian Schottenheimer for Coach of the Year at 30-1 for the reason that if they win the division, he's going to get attention on a team that was laughed at for a hire. And as you just said it, they have the most. Their offense is humming, and their defense is trash. But this is why I liked them so much last week. Is that they basically just need to get like one stop against another team. So I like Dallas on that. Like I like Dallas of those four. I need to caution this because Drum's already ready to kill me. Because yes, Denver, they're all on the schedule. Who is Dallas beat? The thing is that Dallas has taken advantage of the weak division, has beaten some of those people. I think the Dallas at the 6-7-1. It was 7-1 yesterday. It was like 6-1 today. I like that number, but part of the reason why I took Schottenheimer was because I feel like it's sort of linked. I mean, he can't win it without them winning division, and I think he has a chance of winning it if they win the division. I don't know if he'll have the narrative for it, but I like the Cowboys the most there. Pats, I think I was wrong about Drake May. I'm not gonna.
I agree.
His deep ball looks great. The problem I have with Drake May is simply that if you notice, Drake May is very bad at secondary reads. If he doesn't have his first read, he does what Shawn Hardie says is he just panics and he just immediately tries to run and do whatever. That's actually where his rushing stuff comes from. But he's very big on his first read, but his deep ball looks really good. I am not interested in this Jags team because I think this Colts team's for real. I think this Colts team's for real.
Yep.
And I'm not interested in anybody in the North. I'm more interested in the Bengals than I am in the Bengals at like 16-1 than I am the Ravens. So
the thing with the Ravens is like the Ravens literally have zero margin for error. Like they lose one more game, like that's basically like it. And if they lose like either of the Pittsburgh games, which Lamar has always struggled in Pittsburgh, they're done. The Patriots one. The only thing I would just add as a comment there is that everybody says how easy the Pats schedule is, and that's why, like, Pats number 1 seed, like Pats to win the AFC.
You beat the teams in front of you.
You know who also has a really easy schedule? The Buffalo Bills. Like, they also have an incredibly easy schedule, and they still have a game that they can play against New England to get in hand. So, if you're playing plus 125, like, I'm just not interested in that in a future that's going to be for the next 12 weeks. But 6-1, to Joe's point in the chat here, look, we're looking for what's the best value on the team that would have that we think is probably not priced correctly. I think it's Dallas.
Yeah, I agree. I don't get the love for the Commanders. So, all right. That said, so yeah, this is a show with an Eagles fan and a Steelers fan, both of whom just said that, hey, we're backing the Cowboys. All right. Yeah. Let's bring in Shawn. Let's ask Shawn the same question. Shawn, Shawn Marcus
Ooh.
Aurelius. Shawn Marcus Aurelius Hardie.
Hello. Trying to get off
Hello.
mute. How are you?
Dude, look at that. Look at
That's not a Mark Sanchez jersey, I hope, Sean.
No.
Reggie
No,
Bush.
Reggie
Bush.
Reggie
You gotta
Bush.
give the jersey back. So, Sean, who
Yes,
of
sir.
those 4 teams are you in? Not, I guess, who are the 3 teams? Because I'm not even going to include the Ravens on there. Because no more. We're not doing more Ravens soliloquies. Who are you interested in of those 3 teams and buying them for the division?
First of all, shout out to Bill Simmons, who correctly said today, he was like, all right, if you had to bet your life on either the Steelers or the Ravens win the division at plus 140, what are you betting? And it's like betting like those numbers should not be even at all. But whatever. So you said, so it's funny you brought this up because I was literally thinking about the Cowboys because I was looking at my Washington to finish last future that we had.
And are under 7.5.
Yeah, and we have under 7.5. And I also have a Ravens. I also have a Eagles 1, Giants 2, and a Giants 1,
same.
Eagles 2. But I remember when I was making the bet, I said the biggest thing to screw this up is if the Cowboys are better than I think they would be. That's the only way this goes left. And you know what? Them turning into the AFC Bengals, they might be better.
Yeah, that's a great comp. What a great comp.
They're the AFC Bengals.
Say that. Hold on. Say that again, because this is probably say it again. Say it with authority.
With the chest
The only way my first and second NFC East futures could have gotten screwed up is if the Cowboys were better than we thought they were, and them turning into the AFC Bengals means that they may be better than we thought they were. To your point, Mr. Rosenberg,
thank you.
You came to me about Schottenheimer 30-1.
That's right.
And we laughed. I laughed it off. I didn't laugh it off, but I just said, well, the problem is, and we both said, like, well, no one gets coach of the year for finishing 7-10.
Right.
But now, again, if they've turned to the AFC Bengals and Mr. Prescott is looking like is in the MVP race, you never know. But I think the Commanders will still finish below 7 wins because
I do too. There's a lot of problems with that team.
No same team has won the NFC East, I believe, since 2004. Is that right? I think that's the one division where there's been a different team that has won the division every single year since 2004. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right. So to stuff that we will get wrong, to stuff that we did get wrong. We're going to use this segment right now to talk about things that can be either season long or past weekend wrong. And the goal of this exercise is when you get the thing that you kind of look at when you get a side or a bet or a take wrong that you get to kind of course correct. And I will go first. I completely took the blood money and faded the F out of the Eagles. I ignored Carson Wentz as the quarterback, but the big thing that actually I ignored when that team played an awesome game, looked like they had a good game plan, just absolutely dismantled that Vikings team, is that I didn't stop. And Mark kind of made this comment in the comments. Sean talks a lot about the transitive properties don't exist in sports. They don't, but they sort of do when you look at quality of opponent does exist. And if you look at who the Vikings beat, they were not quality opponents, and I shouldn't have put them on the same level as the Eagles, despite the spot. I completely ignored it. I completely ignored that I watched the Vikings team really struggle against the Browns for a majority of a game in London. But they beat everybody else, and so I was they beat a Bears team with because of a blitz in the second half. So that's the kind of the big thing that I looked at is that I've started looking at more. I'm just like, well, what's backing up here? Like, are these guys both really 4-1 or is something else going on here? So that's kind of my big key learning of things that I got wrong that I'm willing to kind of eat and learn from. CJ, what do you got?
Well, quick follow up there. Is this the time to ask? Do you buy the soft benching conspiracy right now with Wentz and
I
JJ
buy
McCarthy?
whatever's gonna get our under 24.5 touchdown passes from JJ McCarthy home, because that's one of the few futures that I think is still alive for me in the NFL, which is a bonkers number. But and I thought for a second, I thought like KOC had figured out Wentz. Like I thought he had fixed him. But then I watched him play again, and then I realized no, he hadn't.
And then I watched him play, and I was
then I was like, Carson Wentz is not good. Let me watch the all 22 on this. Oh no, Carson Wentz ignores all reads except for the guy that he knows his voting record. So and that's it. So yeah, what do you got, CJ?
So I think for mine here, by the way, I've never heard of a player that has a ankle sprain and is ruled out for like 7 weeks. So just I'll call that out. For me, it's the Carolina Panthers is the team that I have been wrong about, and I think it's more that I had this team rated coming into the season as like, I think this might be like the worst team in football still. Like, I think that Bryce Young sucks. I think that while I like Canales, I don't know what the hell he's going to be able to do with the defense there. I don't understand any of the love for Ted McMillan, even though I liked him as a player in college. And they've proven me wrong. Like, you look at their DVOA from starting in week 4, like offensive DVOA, they're right in the middle of the pack. And that's with a very bad Jets game. I think that would have been included as part of that.
And
too.
I'd argue a pretty bad quarterback. They have really good skill position. They have like they're wide. Like
also gotta love that the Jets game between the Panthers this weekend featured 4 quarterbacks with all negative EPA per play in that game. So
did you see
for that product?
Not to derail it, but did you see that same thing in Unexpected Point? Was it Unexpected Point? No, it was Humor Sports.
I think it was a Humor Sports newsletter.
Shout out to Mark Drumheller for getting me
read
on that newsletter. Did you look at the breakout between the Browns and Miami? The Browns somehow scored 31 points with both teams having negative EPAs on every single part of their play. So anyway, keep going.
Yeah, not good football teams, to say the least. But I do think the Panthers, like, I actually had to look really hard at my upcoming weeks for Survivor, and I was like, I think I'm going to take the Panthers at home in one of these spots because they are a good home football team. They play well. They're clearly somewhat motivated by what the coaching staff has kind of like built there, and I don't know. Do I think that it's going to be a team that's going to like have a high ceiling and do a lot or like make the playoffs? Probably not. But I'm just looking at, I had the Colts pretty low and I had the Panthers even lower, and I think this team could easily win 7 to 8 games. So I'm wrong. I'll admit it, and I'm probably going to have egg on my face next time that I back Bryce Young at home.
Even though he won't. Well, would you do it with Andy Dalton?
Probably not.
I think JC Horn is a dog, and like I like
that's a nice thing to see too. I mean, he's been somebody that's like had a lot of hype coming in. Obviously,
he had a lot of hype,
and never really had kind of been able to meet that. And now he's like fully healthy and like actually showing why he was a highly touted prospect. So that's nice to see too. Their defense is like not as much of a dumpster fire, either, which is a big
it isn't. Shawn.
So there's so many directions I can go in here because, so first of all, so it's funny because when everyone was glazing the Denver Broncos in the offseason, I said to myself, the Chargers are not
that was me.
Berg, you weren't Berg, that was not directed at you. I would have said your name, but you weren't alone. You were not alone. I don't sub you. Come on. And I said to myself, no, the team in this division is the Chargers. Like year 2, Harbaugh, gonna get him right, whatever, yada. And like 2 weeks in, I was like, oh my God, why didn't I listen to my convictions? I didn't make any Chargers futures. And now, I mean, listen, them being down 2 tackles kind of matters. But the team I'm gonna talk about here is a team that CJ just mentioned. That's the Indianapolis Colts, because I paid absolutely positively no fucking attention to that team whatsoever. Well, that's not true. I made a bet for them to be the worst team in the league Because I said
I did too.
this team
I made
is
multiple bets for them to be the worst team in the league.
This team is not going to be good. Worst team in the league, whatever. Steichen's gonna get fired. They're gonna clean
Riley Leonard for touchdown leader, like all that stuff. Yeah,
they're gonna they're gonna be they're just like they're gonna be they stink. And clearly, and we're when you are now watching. I forget who said this. This is now like the fourth consecutive year the salvage project quarterback has looked good.
Baker, Darnold. Who was the other one? It's Baker, Darnold, and one other
Baker, shit. I have to look it up. I forgot who the fourth guy is. But like the Colts, I just didn't pay attention. Now, honorable mention,
Flacco,
I will get
probably.
It might be
probably Flacco.
Okay. My honorable mention is, and it's honorable mention because still up in the air, is like the New York Football Giants, because again, I made that bet where I said like Giants first, Eagles second was 75-1. And then Eagles first, Giants second was like 15-1, something like that. The Giants are clearly I was high on the Giants. The Giants are clearly they're 2-5. They are 2 plays away from being 4-3.
Yeah.
Because if Russ doesn't throw that pick against the Cowboys, and if they do anything differently yesterday against the Broncos, they're 4-3. But then again, as the former head coach of the New York Football Giants said, you are what your record says you are, and there's a reason why you're 2-5, because you do these dumb things. So I don't know if I was wrong about them. I guess time will tell. This schedule's still murder. But I was 100% wrong about the Colts. 100% wrong.
Yeah.
I think we were all wrong.
We were all wrong.
I mean, I think literally collectively we were all wrong. And like the level of magnitude of wrong on the Colts is probably
it's the lack of turnovers.
Yeah.
I try to go through and as I said, well, surely he has really high turnover worthy plays. He doesn't. And
if you watch the games though, like it's like it's not one of those things like when I used to watch Brock Purdy when he first came in, and I was like, how does he keep getting? There's so many turnover like worthy plays, and yet they're somehow getting away with this. They just have all these skill position players. Like I watched a lot of that game on Sunday with the Chargers and the Colts, and like that was just a straight up ass kicking by Indianapolis. Like
dude, they fucking smoked that team.
And I'm not saying that the Chargers are necessarily like this great team either, but damn, like Daniel Jones looked fucking. If you had not told me that it was Daniel Jones at quarterback, I legit would have thought that it was like the reincarnation of like a different like Peyton Manning or something. Like that's like it looked that good. So the eyes are telling me the same thing that the efficiency stuff says.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Like that's kind of the honorable mention for everybody is just what we were wrong about the Colts. So I guess the last thing, and then we'll move to talking about rookie of the years and why, we all want Judkins stuff is, what, can the Colts win the AFC?
No.
Why? Besides I'm sure it's the obvious, but
unfortunately, Nick Wright calls the AFC Championship game the Arrowhead Invitational, and it grinds my gears when he calls it that. But because these fuckers in Kansas City are on their way to like being back again, and if Daniel Jones has to go into Arrowhead in January to win a playoff game, I'm sorry, I'm not rolling. Now if it's I'm not gonna say that team. I'll say it. If it's the Steelers, who knows? And CJ knows this. The Steelers find ways to lose games that
they would
business lose.
bet your mortgage on them if they're playing the Steelers. Like that's not worried about that. I think I'm with you, Shawn. I just wonder, does it matter? Because we have seen Mahomes do this. Like it's not like they can't win an Arrowhead on the road in the playoffs either. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure on the defensive side, just like the case we made a few weeks ago on the Bills, where I was like, you know what? I'm seeing the same thing with the Bills. Like they have a great offense, but can they actually stop Mahomes when they need to stop Mahomes in the playoffs? And I don't know about that with Indianapolis yet, but they certainly can score. They'll keep up with them.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. That's the thing is I came into the season thinking, oh, their defense will do this and do this. And Mark Drumhauer is talking about it in the chat, but Yeah, their defense is a little bit game script dependent. And I wonder, I don't think that they have they won a game where they've been trailing by like 2 scores or like by
I
more than a
Definitely
score?
not like by 2 scores.
Not 2
no.
scores. They
were back and forth
games.
in that one game, in that
the
Well,
Broncos.
the Arizona game,
the Broncos
they were back.
The Broncos game, yeah, but
also, too.
like that Broncos game was how big? Yeah, they might. I guess that Broncos game was the one. But that's the thing that I also look for is that Drummer with a really good stat. Like Colts defense is third when EPA play when leading. So that's the thing, because I don't recall this Colts when you have teams that are really elite offensively. It's how did they? And I guess this is sort of still the knock also on the Cowboys too, because I don't know how a good team versus a not good team is a team that can do exactly what it's doing. When obviously game script's going to change, you're going to pass more if you're down, but I don't know how this Colts team operates playing from behind at all. Yeah. And we saw that we see that blow up in people's faces in the playoff. It's honestly what killed the Bills all the time in the play. Like the Bills never usually have to play from behind until they see
Mahomes.
Mahomes. And they're just not used to it. So that's man, we should have had that with our Huffer last week, but that's a good point that we all are kind of thinking of. All right, let's talk about rookies. All right. So you're not betting Jackson Dart because he's even money. That's an absurd odd. Shawn, who do you want for offensive rookie of the year today for the rest of the season?
Oh, today it's Quinshon Judkins.
Is there anybody else? Like, should we even bother like that? Like, because we can glaze him. I'm fine with that. I think he's so good.
So I wrote down 3 names. I said, okay, let me find a short odds, medium odds, and then a long shot. And the short odds number I wrote down is Jackson Dart, because like he's the quarterback. If this team finishes 7-10, listen, plus 130 is going to look like the juiciest thing in the world when he's minus 600, 6 weeks from now.
And it's a rookie quarterback, which is going to be your greatest likelihood of winning this no matter what. So
yeah. Like it's not even to the point where like him and Scadaboo are like splitting votes, because Scadaboo's like plus 3,000 or something like that.
Yeah.
So I wrote him down. I wrote down Judkins because listen, the Cleveland's going to run the ball. They're 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 going to run the ball. And Judkins is like an easily finished. And also, like, I also did some research that 4 of the last 7 offensive rookies of the year were on teams with losing records. It's happened 9 times the last 23 years. So you don't have to be really good. You could be 7-10, 5-12, what have you. So I say that's why Judkins is still alive, because I mean, I don't think Cleveland's going to win 5 games. Maybe they do, but
I think he's going to have 15 touchdowns.
Yeah, and if he runs for like 1,200 yards and 15 touchdowns on that team, good Lord. The long shot I went for, and he is a teammate of Quinshon Judkins, and that's Harold Fannin at 150-1.
Saw that. I like that too.
I like that one a lot.
Simply because, Njoku's there, but Njoku he's been a breakout candidate for like 5 years in a row. He was injured this past week. They have no reason to, if Fannin looks like he's going to be good, at the very least, they'll run a lot of 12 personnel. I just think that for someone who's going to be is involved with the offense as he is, 131 is just a bonkers number.
Nope. I agree. I looked at Fannin too. You have to have a historical year as a tight end to be able to do that.
That's true.
But he looks for him all the time. I mean, there's ways that the thing is about that market especially is that it's super reactive versus predictive, as I always say, but it really is for rookie. Drum again with the fire, like concern Judkins is holding up. Judkins is second half of the season, rookie wall, off the couch, no camp. That's also true.
No camp is a good.
That's a great call out.
That's a really good call out. So yeah, I also don't know if he'll have the yards. Is the one thing on him, because I think he may have just 1,000, like maybe like 1060. I think he's gonna have an insane amount of touchdowns. Like I think he will have 15 touchdowns, something like that, something absurd. Mm-hmm. And Joe pointed out like Bowers didn't win last year, and betting a tight end is letting money on fire. Fair.
No, but Bowers didn't win because he lost to the quarterback. So to your point, CJ, like if the quarterback is there, he's the quarterback's not going to win. So if Dart falls off, that's your path. I'm actually looking up Bowers. Like Bowers got one. He came in second. He got one first place vote last year. One. So you need Dart. You need Dart to fall off to even consider. But then again, that's why he's 130 to 1. Like, I'm not holding my breath.
I'm with you, Sean. I think the one thing I would say is like it's not apples to apples though in terms of the quarterback you'd lose to year. Like Jaden Daniels by EPA and all other metrics last year was like a top 5 QB in the league. Jackson Dart is not that. Not yet. Maybe he will be, but he's not that right now. So it's not like Bowers just lost to a rookie quarterback that was like had a decent season. Like Jaden Daniels had like an all-time great rookie season.
Yes.
And that's why Brock Bowers lost to him. So because I was looking, to be honest, I did the same. Like I was trying to think of like a short medium. I had Dart for my short. I had Tet McMillan as sort of my like, hey, if you want to go like 14 to 1.
I like
kind of
Tet
interesting.
A lot. Yeah.
I just don't know if he has the counting stats yet, but like he clearly is a driver on a team that has surprised people, and like he'll have over 1,000 yards definitely. I can't get myself to do it because the advanced stuff has been so bad. But Cam Ward at 75 to 1 is the number 1 overall pick, and now he has a new coach. Like it does kind of pull me in just a little bit.
I looked at that number. Because again, if he's like quarterback, like it's a shame every offensive award is like, all right, quarterback first, whatever. The only concern I have is that like because Mike McCoy, the interim head coach, said that going into the game, like they were going to simplify things for him, and I was okay. So I kept my eye, and I had Tennessee plus whatever they were getting. Raw.
We all did.
I did.
So,
like you want to talk about like going against your gut, like how I feel about Vrabel. Like
I know,
dude. Vrabel should I should have been the one.
I
should have been the one, been like Vrabel's gonna go in there and kick their ass and look for old spread, whatever. But anyway,
dude, the owner, she told us what was gonna happen. Amy, she's like, we're gonna get our butts kicked, and it's not gonna be under Callahan, it's gonna be under another guy. She said that.
So the thing of Ward is that their schedule fucking stinks. He might get his brains beaten. That's the only reason why I didn't write that number down. But I looked at Cam Ward. I was all right, man. And listen, there's still time. Listen, the silly ass Titans didn't wait till the bye week to fire the coach. They did it during the week, whatever. Maybe Mike McCoy does need some time to simplify the offense and make things easier for him and what have you. And like it's not a bad shot. It's just that they're gonna they might get their brains beaten.
They may not have any wins, is what's gonna end up happening. So he has to have those stats there.
Well, he's got to like literally start it this week against Indianapolis at 14.5 dogs.
Right. I saw it the same thing. So like when I was talking to I can say future friend of the pod because he's not a current friend of the pod, but he's a friend. But Ryan Maximus Kramer of SGPN, when he went to his weekly Vegas trip, I said, look, there are 2 offensive rookie of the year things that I think make sense there because, Judkins was 80 to 1 going. I'm like, we need to bet this now. And we didn't. And Cam was 120 to 1 over at Circa. And I said, if there's any week that things kind of change and do whatever, it would have been the dead cat spot where he looked fantastic for a quarter and a half.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I don't even know if this guy's the guy. But yeah, right. I think he's going to get his butts. I think he's going to get his butt beaten in because that team's not going to have a lot to be proud of as it goes forward. And that offensive line stinks. The skill players stink. I mean, when you have to get rid of Tyler Lockett because you'd rather have Calvin Ridley, at least Tyler Lockett will catch the ball and wants to be there. So I think though, if there's a long shot quarterback, I would think that's kind of the good one.
So I'll say this. They do have, if there's anything that's going to help them out, they have 4 consecutive home games. Which I've never seen before. So they have at Indy, Chargers, bye, Texans, Seahawks, Jags, at Cleveland, at Niners, Kansas City, New Orleans, at Jacksonville. So the case for Cam Ward is that in that stretch where they do not leave the state of Tennessee until December, that they like literally they play.
There's just going to be a bachelorette parties for an entire month.
Yeah, like they play this
Travis. So like it just
they play this Sunday at in Indianapolis, and then their next road game is December 7th. The Chargers, we spoke about the Chargers. The Texans, who trusts the Texans? The Jaguars, hello, the Jaguars. Like, listen, maybe they get a little frisky. Like, so that will be like, okay, let's say they get, put you like this. They should get their brains beaten this weekend. After they get their brains beaten this weekend, when he's like 112-1, then you could put it, then you could bet him.
That's a good point.
Yeah, because that price will get cheaper too. That's
cheaper.
not one though. It's like it's not. Well, we're not at the bottom yet. Like I think there's more where we can go. So
absolutely.
You guys want to build a parlay? Our parlays, by the way, all of them have hit. We've just never gotten to bet them. But so
tune in for a parlay that we'll tell you to bet.
For a parlay that we actually.
But
it's funny because I feel like I assign without telling him CJ to remind me. And CJ is like, I have a life. I'm not going to remind you, but you kind of did. Is that what those links are in the note that you and I share? Are those our parlays?
What the iPhone, like the iCloud note or whatever?
No, yeah. There's 2 links you put in there.
Oh, I don't know. That might be.
You may have accidentally put them in another one.
I don't know.
But I never clicked them. I was like, why is CJ editing this note?
Or something? I don't know.
It's fine. All right, we're gonna do a parlay with just tight ends, and for this week, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look at the schedule to see who's there. By the way, Dan Campbell is so petty. I love him. I'm sorry. I know we say this. Feel like we say this every week, but
we do say it every week.
That guy's my kind of petty. So all right, let me go and look at on Hall of Fame bets who is playing who.
While you do that,
yes.
I will say that I tailed one of your parlays that you guys built. It was the Jalen Hurts anytime TD score, Hornets to make the playoffs, and Yannick Sinner to win the Australian.
Oh yeah.
That's still alive, motherfucker.
It's still alive. Yeah. That was the one with Scott when we did that weird future.
No, we had tennis talk. We had our brief 10-minute tennis talk, and we're like, what would you parlay Yannick Sinner for Australian?
And then I said Jalen Hurts touchdown, and so okay. All right, this week. Who do I'm using Hall of Fame bets on mine just so that people can do whatever. So I want to see who's playing who this weekend where I want to do something with
tight end parlay, right?
It's tight end parlay. Yeah. So here, let me look. All right. Who I got to look at the schedule and then I can see who is playing who. Oh, you know what? Okay. Well, then here's what I want. I think I want some Dallas Goedert stuff as I'll pick for mine. Let's see.
This is riveting radio.
I know, really. It is. Well, I got a face made for radio. Well, okay. All right. Yeah. So wait, no, here's what I want. Actually, I got something that we don't have it yet, but it'll have value. I don't know why, by the way, speaking of tight ends, I don't know why Stone Smart 2 TDs randomly has a price, but Mason Taylor stuff does not. By the way, if you're interested, Stone Smart is 250-1 for 2 TDs this weekend. I will want against the Bengals. I want Mason Taylor. I'm gonna probably take Mason Taylor yards at an all highest band alt after what his line opens up at. I'm assuming it'll be Tyrod Taylor's probably starting, so I'm assuming it's going to be 52.5, but somewhere between 48 and 52, I imagine. But that's what I want. On Mason Taylor probably 60 yards is going to be what my entry is for this.
Oh, wait a minute. Mason Taylor plays for
the Jets, the New York Football Jets.
And they're playing the Bengals.
They're playing the Bengals.
Like if you play tight end, you would get like 3 catches for 72 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah. He's good though, man. His dad was a big deal.
Shout out to his dad.
And his aunt.
Okay.
You know what? We're not gonna. All right.
No, good. No. CJ, you got one. I need a minute.
So I'm gonna
The
pull
quiet
back
when
out.
I gave Joy Taylor any props. All right, that's fine.
I'm gonna pull back out one that we fired on and won some money on last week, and I'm just going back to the well on Jonnu Smith anytime touchdown this week against the Packers, which I think this line is actually already up. It's like I want to say you can get it like 3-1 on FanDuel or something right now, but he, by the way, Pittsburgh Steelers, 4th best red zone efficiency by touchdowns of any team.
Because there's 6 tight ends out there at every given time for.
That's correct. You know who's one of them? Who Aaron Rodgers likes to throw to a lot is fucking Jonnu Smith. So he should not be 3-1 on this. And the Packers are defensively, they are not great against tight ends in general. So people will probably be going to Freiermuth, is my guess, in terms of looking for where the value is going to be, and it's going to be Jonnu Smith. So that's mine. Jonnu Smith anytime TD.
All right, so Mason Taylor 60 yards, Jonnu Smith touchdown. Bring us home, Shawn.
All right, I'm going to go with, because I was doing some research and I saw, wait a minute, who is the worst team in the league against guarding the tight end? And that's the Cincinnati Bengals. The second worst team against when it comes to guarding the tight end is the aforementioned Carolina Panthers. So with that said, where did this motherfucker go? I'm going to go with whatever Dalton Kincaid's over yards are for the Buffalo Bills, who play the Carolina Panthers. I will take that because he's already their leading receiver. Yeah. And now he's playing against the second worst tight end defense in the league. So I'll take his yards over.
All right. It's probably gonna be around 60. So we'll do 60, and producer Spencer's jumping in with Trey McBride over receptions, whatever it is. It'll be 7.5, and we still take it.
It's gonna be a crazy number, but
all right, CJ, you're in charge of just reminding me on Friday.
Yes.
Or somebody, you know what? Somebody else in the chat. All of you somehow have my cell. Someone texted me and tell me that we said it's going to be Mason Taylor 60 yards, Trey McBride over receptions, Dalton Kincaid probably 60, 70 yards, and Jonnu Smith touchdown. That is our parlay. The TD. Yeah. That's going to be this weekend. All right. We no longer do dad moves. So, Shawn, do you want to just tell people where they can find you now that your New York Knickerbockers come back this week?
Oh, that's right. My New York Knickerbockers come back on Wednesday to begin. Hopefully, is the first men's basketball championship in New York City in 53 years. But you can find me on Twitter at SeanTheW_. You can catch me on Knicks Film School. I actually just recorded a pod today about betting futures that we like for the Knicks on the show called KFS Weekly Wagers, which you two ass clowns are going to be on at some point. So
talk about Joel. Can I slander Joel Embiid?
Brother, I will throw the alleys.
Thank you.
And you
I got into a fight with this dude on Twitter who was agreeing with me, but he didn't like how I was hating on Joel Embiid. He said they don't put good players around him, so it's a bad organization. I said, yes, but in science, there's a constant variable, and the constant variable is Joel Embiid.
I think it's insane, by the way. Their win total is like 42.5. Not to get in like
they're going to make all of us. They're going to be the Colts of the NBA, aren't they?
But that's
well,
I don't know. That seems awfully high.
That's a good segue to the other place you could find me on the brand new NBA Takedown podcast with Jonathan Macri, which airs Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. We did an episode today.
Set that up for you, Shawn.
Yes, that's why you're a veteran in the business. And by the business, I mean the industry. So we did a episode today, myself, John, and Dexter Henry from the New York Post, and we did a take draft. And we basically drafted takes, and one of the takes was, I will not touch this. I'd rather drop dead than bet this team's win total over under. And absolutely do not touch the Philadelphia 76ers over under. Because if they win 48 games because whatever fucking thing, like Joel Embiid went to Germany and now his knee works well and fucking
platelets from an alien.
Yeah, and
Paul George's podcast gets canceled.
And McCain came back, and no, Paul George retired to focus on his podcasting. That got him out the way. Listen, if they won 48 games, wouldn't surprise me. If they won 28 games, wouldn't surprise me. I refuse to bet any money on the Philadelphia 76ers futures at all.
Scott and I were talking about that too today because friend of the pod, Uncut Gambit Gems, his favorite futures 200-1 Joel Embiid MVP, and I told him, I'm like, there's absolutely zero chance I'm even donating money in Joel Embiid's name. I do have one future that I did put on the Sixers today because DK has Rookie of the Month market, and other friend of the pod, Noops Christensen, and I maxed VJ Edgecombe to be Rookie of the Month for October, November.
That is
at 7-1.
That's a good one. That's
Well, but we got to. Here's what we got to set. We want to set a reminder every month. We got to go bet that market on DK. That's a great market.
You got to do the calendar invites. I'm still waiting for my like this Iowa State one that's coming.
The Iowa State look ahead spot. Yeah.
Yes.
I put that on everybody's calendar, and if I'm wrong, I'm never doing it again. Just.
You can also read me on collegefootballnews.com. I write for them. Motherfuckers, bet whoever Ohio State is playing, bet the other team's team total under.
We smacked this weekend.
I told Berg, I said, Berg, I'm a bitch, so I didn't bet it. But I said, Berg, if you
wait, you didn't bet it?
No, I actually forgot to. I actually forgot to bet. You know how I do. I forgot. No, you know what happened? I was doing the math of like, okay. Because I'd already bet. All right, so here's a quick story. Yeah. Wisconsin's team total under 7.5 was like -115. I said, fuck that. They're not getting a touchdown.
Such a great bet, by the way.
So a great bet. Under 6.5 was +132. So I bet that straight away, right? To win like 3/4 of whatever, right? And then I was talking to Berg on Sunday, on Friday night, and I said, for Wisconsin not to score is +450.
It was awesome.
Like, you know what? I'm going to do that. And I said, you know what? Great. I'm going to do it. So Saturday morning, I went to go bet it. But I was like, wait a minute. Since I already have 6.5, I need to make sure the bet, like to make sure the math works out, right? Because I don't want to like win on 6.5, but lose 3/4 of my money because I bet 0. And then my son did what my son does and distracted me or whatever. And then the game started. So I didn't get it. So shout out to you. But yes, these motherfuckers do not. One team has gone to double-digit points against them all year, and that was Illinois last week. Wisconsin, who got shut out by fucking Iowa, was never getting to 7 points against Ohio State.
Can I, by the way, real quick, I know we don't really do dad moves, but I do have one quick one off of that, Shawn, which is because this shit happens to me all the time where I'm like, oh, I got to remember to bet this. And it's like Saturday or Sunday morning. And then my kids just induce chaos, and then I just forget to derail the whole
thing.
Yes.
Forget about shopping for the best price. Forget about CLV. Okay, if you're a dad and you think of a bet, fucking just bet it. Like right now. Like go into the bathroom, go bet it right now, and just then forget it because you will if you tell yourself and like, hey, I'll put this in a couple days, or like, oh, I don't know, I gotta like go grab a sandwich and then I'll go bet this. Nope. You will forget. Because this happens. Your kids will try and bet block you as much as they possibly can. So just bet it right away.
That's a good call. I also see one last thing I'll say is Shawn, you and I talked about this last night. I think and I love Iowa State. Joe Dollar, Iowa State's a smash spot, he says. So
let's do it. Let's do it.
We made enough moves.
And Joe Dollar says he's going to take Wisconsin under 7.5 against Oregon this week, but it's -240. So look, I'm seeing under 5.5 is -110. You can take that. Like, listen, again, Wisconsin did not score at home against Iowa and against Ohio State. You think they're going to Autzen and getting a point? That I'm betting under. Oh, so it was. So you know what it was, Berg? It was under 2.5 was +430. Shutout was +450. So later in the week, under 2.5 will come out. Bet that shit. Like they're like, or if you want to be safe and bet like us 5.5, like they may get a field. They may pull a Jonathan Smith. You see what the fuck Michigan State did. They ruined the cover and the over under by kicking a field goal down 30 against Indiana. Like Indiana spread got fucked. The over under got fucked because like down 30, they kicked the field goal with like 2 minutes left. This team they at most will score 3 points at most. Fade the fuck out of that shit. Fade them. I don't even know why he still has a job. Luke Fickell.
I was very worried that he was going to end up becoming the Penn State coach, but Matt Rule is very clearly going to be the Penn State coach because he's already checked out. All right, so this is really good. This is a good episode. And to Spencer's point, we need to have more of these things in our bag for dad moves. So again, our sponsor is Hall of Fame Bets. Go to hofapp.com. Use code DADS. Thank you everybody in the chat. Bump in on a Monday, probably because we have 4 hours till the next football game. Woody Marks TD, by the way. That's what I'm giving out. I think he scored tonight. Anyway, Spencer is at Spencer_Ray. He does a great job producing. CJ is at Dad's That Bet. Shawn is at Shawn with W_. That underscore is very important. I know your promo. And mine is at Hey Rosenberg, and you can just find me being abrasive and slandering Joel Embiid and anybody who was at the Capitol on January 6th, which usually I equate to any white defensive lineman. I usually go after or Bosa
or like 30-plus-year-old like white MLB pitcher.
Any white athlete, I basically assume was at the Capitol is really what it is. So, all right. Thanks everybody. And CJ, what's the final word?
Say it with your chest. 50 fucking episodes. Thank you, everybody.